Try to find a balance, try to do what you like so that it doesn't feel like work. There's bound to be successes, there's bound to be failures. Just treat it as a part of life and don't try to chase success for the sake of success.
So every time I see this, I imagine who created this? Who does the implementation? What is this mesh? Why are there wires hanging around this mountain, Rocky Mountain? And this episode at Brick Talks is all about that. My guest today hails from a very niche industry which is called as technical textile, Mr. Tiru Kulkarni. He is having more than 25 years of experience in India and abroad. And he has seen this industry mature from zero to today what is it at. So I welcome you, Tiru, to Brick Talks with Siddharth Nahta.
Thank you, Siddharth, and I appreciate having me over for this talk. And thank you for your kind words.
Thank you. So how has been your journey? Like, you have spent 25 years in the industry.
In short, the journey has been fantastic, Siddharth. I mean, it's a niche field, no doubt, and I got into this field after a brief stint in heavy civil at that time, which was roads and highways. And it was practically, a very new field in India at that time. And I've got a chance to see, this industry from up close in different countries, different continents. And so yes, the journey has been really great so far.
So you have traveled to a lot of places, and we would like to know how this industry has grown abroad vis-a-vis what is its comparison in India right now.
Right. So let's talk about where we are at in India right now. In India, this industry is still, I would say, in a nascent phase because you see the odd site coming up, in between Mumbai and Pune expressways. Right. But it is something that you see once in a while. So rockfall is one of the applications. There are several other applications for these kind of solutions. It has taken a while for this industry to penetrate. There were no codes, there were no standards for these kind of solutions earlier because obviously these standards get set in once the performance has been observed.
Right.
So, but now that this industry has standards, etc., in place, and there is a lot of push also from the central government to use these materials, because this is certainly an area where India can be Atmanirbhar and can also export. But if we compare it with where we are at abroad, so in India, for example, the penetration is today less than 0.5% of the total infrastructure budget. Whereas abroad in US and in Europe, if we take these two as the major technical textiles and geosynthetics specifically consuming industries, over there the penetration is to the tune of about 4 to 5%. So this gives you an idea that there is still a long way for India to grow in this and for this industry to catch up in India.
So what is the current scenario for a company like Garware Technical Fibres, which is growing fast? In the last 5-6 years, you've grown tremendously. COVID has just happened. Now the next 4-5 years will be very crucial. What do you see the trend in the industry?
You see, Garware Technical Fibres Limited, which I'm a part of, is involved in several industries. The industry that I have experience of, which is geosynthetics, is related more to the civil engineering industry. And here I see a good portent for the future because of the current government's focus on infrastructure planning and infrastructure pipeline. So the government has committed to the National Infrastructure Pipeline for an investment of 110 lakh crores over the next 5 years.
5 years, and that's a big amount.
That's a big amount. That's a big commitment, and I think it is this commitment which should show a good future for the infrastructure industry.
So out of the 25 years of your career, what is your turnaround point, where your whole life changed?
Well, Siddharth, for me, the turnaround point really was when I got a chance to go abroad. I've traveled a lot and it's given me a lot of education. I've learned a lot and it's been an education all through. And I was based out of Malaysia for the major part of my career.
So Europe is done, Southeast Asia is done, India is done. Now what are the next plans?
Well, my plans are so far to be based in India. I'm happy to be here, happy to be in Pune. And part of my work also deals, with exports. And we have started exporting about 4 or 5 years back. And that gives me the opportunity also to travel and meet new people and very interesting people and see new places.
What is the fun part of, living abroad?
To me, the drinking sessions that we used to have. सबके साथ, आई मीन साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में तो दे आर बिग ड्रिंकर्स, तो वहाँ पे ऑफिस कल्चर भी ऐसा है कि अगर आप कस्टमर के साथ में बैठे हो तो देयर इज एन इम्प्रॉम्प्टू ड्रिंकिंग कंपटीशन कि इफ यू आर द लेफ्ट स्टैंडिंग यू नो आफ्टर द ड्रिंक्स देन इट्स योर प्राइस, और अगर client is standing after the drinks, then it is his price, and the deal goes through. Of course, you know, they do it when the deal is almost through. But this brings a little bit of a fun element. And this is something that I miss in India.
Did you had, you know, in all of this stint, did you had any funny incident or, you know, something that is very unique, very memorable back in the memory lane?
Yeah. I remember that, you know, when I was very new in Malaysia, as is the norm in India, you know, I used to sit back after office hours, you know, till late in the evening, and then I used to log out. Whereas the rest of the staff in the office used to log out, you know, spot on at 5:30 p.m. At that time, I had a British boss. His name was Graham. So Graham observed it for a few days, and then he called me into his cabin one day and said, "Tiru, this is not your life. Get a life. Office is not your life. Get a life." And that was a good piece of advice, and I've tried to remember that.
And I'm sure people in India who, you know, just give their whole life to the career, they should also listen to this and get a hint what people abroad think if you overdo.
Absolutely. Generally, Indians, the way they are perceived abroad is that they are perceived to be very good at their work. But the flip side of the coin is that Indians are also perceived to be too unidimensional. So it's either the work, or at home they are family men. So that's a very, very accurate to a certain extent. Of course, between then and now things have changed, and you have a lot of people doing a lot of other things. So that is the way to go. That's the right direction. There should be more dimensions to it, to your personality and to your character.
So work hard, play hard is the key here.
Yes, try to find a balance. Try to do what you like so that it doesn't feel like work. There's bound to be successes, there's bound to be failures. You know, just treat it as a part of life, and don't try to chase success for the sake of success.
How it has changed, you know, let's not talk in absolute numbers, but let's talk in ratios. How much percentage of savings that you were able to do earlier?
You know, I would not like to mention what my salary was at that time, but those were different times. I was happy with my salary then, I'm happy with my salary now, but I think that salaries today can do much more than salaries, you know, 25 years back. To be very honest, Siddharth, I was quite consumerist when I started out. First 5-6 years, I had not bothered about savings. I started really bothering about savings after I got married. But I see today, I can't speak for the young generation, but I look at my own kids. When I say kids, they're both young adults, and made to understand that they are looking for an experience. They value experience of life more than you know, a lot of other factors. For example, today probably owning your own flat is not important at all.
Right.
But having an experience of traveling Kalahari Desert or traveling to a game reserve in Africa and clicking yourself with giraffes and lions and tigers is more appealing to them.
That would be an thrilling experience.
So this is different. When we started out, we went through the grind where you had to you know, save money first, and before you could start to have, you know, a disposable income which allowed you to travel and enjoy life.
Right. This is a very new world from what you started with. This is a technological world. Everywhere we see the applications of technology. So what is the new technology that you are working on or you are eyeing that you think will be a game changer?
Certainly applications of technology would include use of drones for you know, for quick surveys, and you can get the complete layout very quickly. So that is one area of technology for saving time. The other area of technology which probably applies more to my field would be in the field of disaster management, because we are in the field of disaster management, whether you're talking about landslides or whether you're talking about rockfall. We could use a system of a total solution whereby with even minor changes in the stratum or with even minor changes in the soil, a sort of an early warning system gets generated. Because everything depends for disasters, the earlier you see the disaster coming, the better it is, because the more time you get to respond. So this is an area where technology can play a part.
So now the next section is where I'll give you a scenario. You have to just speak your thoughts. If you had $1 billion with you, which integration would you as business go for? Or would you go for vertical integration, or you would like to go for horizontal?
So I would prefer to go for a horizontal integration for the right companies, the right geographies, where we can make an immediate impact. $1 billion is a lot of money. It's very easy to get carried away and try to buy everything on the plate, but one has to look very closely to see, which are the profitable ones or which are the companies that can be turned around fairly quickly, so that you have a good return on your investment.
And when you say the right companies, in which particular segment?
I would go for manufacturing and marketing companies in geographies like the USA and in Europe, which would boost up our penetration as an organization quickly because of the credentials and the clients that they already have. And I would also look for a little bit of vertical integration to buy out a construction company, because in India we also do construction.
Right. Okay. And when you say construction companies, you're meaning that execution companies?
Yes.
Who can install whatever you're manufacturing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Any best memory of CSR activity?
CSR is actually, we have a different cell in our organization which does CSR, but I can remember when we were doing a coastal protection project in Odisha. It was in the Kendrapara district, and it was a very sensitive district because that was the Chief Minister's constituency at that point of time. There was a lot of apprehension from the villagers on the use of this kind of new technology for coastal protection because it directly impacted them. So there was an initiative from the state government side where they had asked us to join forces with the irrigation department to take these villagers into confidence and to teach them about this new technology and to teach them about how they would benefit, etc. And we carried out that exercise, and that was something which I remember because the villagers were very, very keyed in, very concerned, and when we started talking to them, they opened up, and it brought the relationship to a completely new turn.
Right. Any incident from your college days?
Yes. See, I'm a postgraduate from Nikmar. So मेरे जो दोस्त थे mostly सब बाहर के थे, and they were staying in a dormitory accommodation very close to the college. तो उस time पे भी 31st की शाम थी, and my friends told me कि Tiru, we have nowhere to go. तो भाई कुछ करो. तो डैडी की गाड़ी निकाली. डैडी ने पहले ही बोला था कि भाई गाड़ी को कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए, खरोंच नहीं आनी चाहिए. I assured my dad. सब लोग गए. We went boozing, and coincidentally one guy wasn't able to handle his drink. And ended up spilling the inside of the thing from his stomach into my car. And तुरंत कर दिया उसने, 12 बजे के पहले ही कर दिया उसने ये सब. तो हमारे तो मतलब उस दिन 12 बजे हम लोग गाड़ी साफ कर रहे थे, because next day my father had to travel in the same car, and that ruined everything for us. So even today when we friends meet, तो पहले उसकी हम लोग खींचते हैं कि वे खबर लेते हैं कि तू ठीक से रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा.
A funny incident.
Yes.
So once upon a time you were also a very newcomer in the industry. What is one piece of advice you would like to give to someone who is just now joining the industry?
I would like to say, take risks. You have nothing to lose. Take risks with innovation. Take risks with trying out new things. Go for what interests you. Right. Don't run for the money. And don't be scared to take a risk. Don't go for the tried and tested. It's worked for me, and I think that is what I would like to tell the newcomers. So for all of you young friends out there, if you like our conversation, then please like, subscribe, and comment on this. Thank you.